a brick is not a wall. Before we deep dive into evidence and facts of this case, we want you to imagine the situation. You hire some people to build you the wall, the high wall, the strong wall, and after all what happened, they didn't. You can see this wall, you can touch this wall, because this wall don't exist. But they still keep insisting they did build the wall. A brick is not a wall is the classic expression that every lawyer in law school in this country are taught. This expression means that in order to win the criminal case, prosecutor need to build a wall from the bricks, and the height of this wall should go far beyond reasonable doubt. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Pavlo, and my partner, Yoran. We are defense counsels in this case representing two defendants, Morris and Fletcher, that are brick lawyers, that are very innocent and keep doing their living and will falsely indicted in this case. Evidence to this case will show you that prosecution failed to build the wall that go far beyond the reasonable doubt. The reason why we are here today, not because prosecution built the wall or gonna build the wall. They want you to believe that two innocent men killed police officer. Actually, not two, but three. Actually, not two men, but three men, or two men and one woman. They are not sure what exactly happened, but the fact that we have today, they indicted two innocent men that we are defending today. The prosecution wants us to believe that this is a case about eyewitness and conspiracy. But actually, what is this case about? This case about shady practice of police and the prosecution to find some person, indict this person, and push this person to point finger to other innocent people. And also this case about practice of the police of wrong identification, about illegal lineups that happen rarely and give the prosecution ability to indict innocent people in the criminal cases. They want us to believe that they fulfill their beyond the reasonable doubt. But you will see from the evidence that they didn't. So by the end of the trial, instead, you will see that instead of finding bricks to build the wall, the prosecution find two brick lawyers to indict them and prosecute them. As well as a brick is not a wall, a two brick lawyers is not the wall to be indicted and to be prosecuted. So let's look to the evidence. As I told you, there is no gun, no pellet, no fingerprints, so we still have no wall in this case. What prosecution want us to believe? That they have star witness, that their brick is witness Edwards. But what will evidence in this case show? That the Edwards is biased, that Edwards had prior motive and prior conflict with the defendants to indict them and point finger to them in this case. That's why we believe the Edwards not credible witness in this case. The second star witness in this case, that prosecution want us to believe that this is a brick to build their wall. The Mrs. Green. But what actually happened with Mrs. Green? She been part of improper identification procedure that done by the investigators in this case. Again, we don't have a brick. What they evidence want us to show is a brick, the ballistic report. But what ballistic report suggests? There is no proper identification of the bullets in this case. There is no proper identification of the pellet that can show to the defendants in this case. Again, we don't have the brick. And the last but not the least, the fingerprints report that the prosecution wanted to put in this case as a part of the wall. But what ended up this fingerprint report? That no fingerprint identification that can show to the defendants in this case. Again, no brick to that wall. So what actually happened on July 2nd last year? First happened tragedy. The police officer been killed. But this fact is not the brick in the wall. This fact means the reason why prosecution need to build this wall. What actually happens with the defendants on July 2nd? They were far from the place where the prosecutor been killed. They were at home watching the movie Jurassic Park. Probably not the best movie we want to see, but the taste and the character of the defendants to choose the movie they want at the evening of the hard work day is not a question at this point. But why, if they were at home, they are here today in this court of justice? Because they had previous flatmate, witness Edwards. And on July 15, they had conflict with Edwards because Edwards has not paid the rent. And because of this conflict, they evicted Edwards from the apartment. On July 16, Edwards been arrested after the burglary committed. And after that, Edwards given 2 sworn testimonies that Edwards know nothing about the accident and the killing of police officer on July 2nd. And after serious practice of the investigators that I told you before, to push some indicted person to confess to something else, Edwards pointed finger to the defendant. Why? Because he had 2 motives. First motive, prior conflict with the defendants. Second, own motive to get away from the crime he indicted with. On all the above, we believe that we still can see the law, or we at least can see the holes. And only you can put justice today. And the only justice today is to reach verdict not guilty. A brick is not a wall. Thank you.
Thank you. At this time, the prosecution shall proceed, since the prosecution has the burden of proof in this case.